What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RC's Gateway to Comics. Today I am going to be giving you guys a little look into my first unpublished novel. Now, I have told you guys multiple times about my actual published novels, the Red Sky series, and I wanted to give you guys a more of an in-depth look into what went into making this unpublished novel going under the working title of Controlling Fire. So this was the book that actually came before A Red Sky is Upon Us. And this is something that is unpublished and is going to remain unpublished for eternity. Because I don't have the passion for it anymore, and it's not anything that's related to the pirate story. So this all started back whenever I was in college, and I was sitting in one of the dorm entryways because I was one of the students who was a commuter to the school. And I was sitting there, I was waiting for my friends to come out so that we could all hang out and do whatever college students do. Most of the times it would just be hanging out in their room, having fun. And I just decided to take out my laptop and start writing away. I don't know what exactly started this inclination, but I know that throughout my college life and pretty much even some high school years, I always had a desire to write fiction. So I wanted to write something that would combine all the stuff that I liked at the time. I was and still am a big fan of comic books, so I like superpowers, superheroes, more specifically like anti-heroes. And I also liked I liked stories that involve like a big grand conspiracy that's going on, and for some ridiculous reason, I am also a fan of professional wrestling. So I have that dorkiness going for me. I'm still slightly a fan of it, but sort of tapered off since then. But all of that stuff I put into this story, and it was going to be about this is going to sound extremely weird, a psychotic college student who gains the power to control fire and is trying to fight against the corrupt organization that gave him those powers accidentally, and he's trying to also make things work with his college crush. All the while, all of this craziness is going on, and he becomes a criminal on the run from this organization. So it's sort of like an anti-hero story, sort of like what you would see from maybe like Punisher or Daredevil or something along those lines, but in a written format. I was planning for this to be a trilogy with the stakes sort of ramping up as it goes along, but it turns out that I only got to about 1.25 of these books because whenever I got to the second book, like I had the first one all finished. This is I want to say it's the rough draft, but I don't honestly remember. I think I got through a round of editing on this, and then I decided to move on to the next book. But I got to that point in the book, or in the second book, I should say, and I realized that there were some plot points in the first one that made absolutely no sense. Like I had to make some rather strange alterations to the hero's origin, and it didn't really make any sense whatsoever. It wouldn't really work out in in the quote-unquote real world, and I thought that I could do so much better. So I stopped writing at that point because it was challenging, and I was thinking I'm gonna need to go back and change all of this because I didn't plan it out properly to begin with, and it really needs some work. I was able to look at my stuff and I was able to say, this is not really worthy of being published. So I'm going to hold off on this and see what I can do to make this work. And as that as that time progressed, I began to realize that I was losing the passion for this story. So that all led into a dry spell for me, and that dry spell is exactly what led to A Red Skies Upon Us. Because whenever I lost the passion for controlling fire, that's whenever I switched over to working on a pirate story. Because I've always been a fan of pirates. I think that they possibly have the best stories that you can possibly imagine because they have some sort of magical aspects to them. There's all sorts of sea creatures that you can find. There's stories of like mermaids, Davy Jones's locker, all sorts of myths of the sea that you can pull from. And there's also classic pirates that, if you look into them, there's some really cool non-fiction stories that makes you think these guys are epic. They may be evil. A lot of them are evil. They are dastardly bastards. But if you can do it properly, then you can make a really cool pirate story. So that's what brought me into creating the Red Sky series, and I still have passion for that. It's just kept growing ever since, and I have 5 of the books out. So that is one of the reasons why I haven't returned to the Controlling Fire at One Time trilogy, and it's why I don't think that I'm going to be returning to it anytime soon. So let this just be a lesson that if you find yourself losing passion for a story and it's not published yet, and you see that there's issues with it, don't be afraid to either go in and make those changes that you need to make it work, or just don't be afraid to drop it. Because dropping this story was probably the best thing that I could have done at that time, because I would have just been wasting my time working on getting all the other stuff situated when I could have been dedicating my time to more of the Red Sky series and a story that I can honestly say that I love. So just take this as a little learning experience for you and hope that it doesn't happen. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. Have you guys had similar experiences where you started a story and then you just realized that this thing cannot be published because I don't want to continue it? I'm curious to hear what you guys say, so let me know that down in the comments below. If you would, also subscribe to this channel so we can continue to bring lessons to creative people such as yourself. And that can be anything from writing to comic books to art tutorials, which will be coming in the future. All that sort of stuff will be available on this channel. So thank you guys all for watching. If you do happen to like pirate stories, then check out the Red Sky series on Amazon and Kindle. I really hope that you do end up enjoying them. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Peace out.